Well, look at where we are. Reflection Atoll, a new region and a new season. So, welcome back to more SimCity. We are starting, and I just can't believe it. We are starting a new season, and the thing is it's season 8, which I still cannot get over the fact that we are not only moving on to a new season, but the 8th season of SimCity Let's Play, and I still cannot get over this. If you would have told me way back when I sat down with nothing to do, bored in the middle of a lockdown, in the middle of a pandemic, and I thought, well, why don't I just play some SimCity, but also in addition to playing it, I'm gonna record. And those first few cities were a tutorial, and then the tutorial turned into more cities, season 2, and then season 3, and on and on. And here we are at season 8. And if you would have told me when I sat down to do those tutorials and that first season, if you would have told me, Leonard, at you are going to do multiple seasons, and you're going to get to season 8, and we're going to be visiting other individuals, cities, and you're going to be doing tutorials on SimCity as well as tutorials and let's plays on other games, I would have said absolutely not. There is no way that that is going to happen. But here we are. We are looking at Reflection Atoll, another region and another season, and I'm so excited and I'm so glad that you're here. So welcome. If you have been with me for season 7 or multiple prior seasons, welcome. If you are new to my let's play, and this is your first season, welcome to you as well. But I am so excited. The 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 thing that has been the game changer for me is at some point during one of our seasons, I started telling stories, and the stories were typically region wide stories, wherein we were, the big story helped shape the cities of the region. And that was the game changer, because before sharing my cities and before sharing on online, if I was bored and just wanted to create a city, I would jump in, create a city, and it was in its own world. Wherein once we started telling a story, it kind of gave fuel and a direction to cities and regions and seasons. So I've really enjoyed adding that aspect to what we do. So yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to get started. So if you were with me for last season, we were at another set of islands. And the story that we kind of came up with at those islands was the story that, because those islands were tropical and lots of vegetation, we wanted to create cities, but while we were creating cities, we wanted to be friendly to the environment, friendly to nature. So we did 6 cities last season in which we tried to leave large areas of green. And I like that thought, I like that theme, and I think I want to continue with that to a certain degree. But the big thing that happened last season, or actually that did not happen last season, is if you watched us create those 6 cities, the music that you're hearing right now is the music that you heard for all of season 7, because we played standard SimCity. We did not do anything that was related to cities of tomorrow. So, no mega towers, no academy, no omega, and other future technologies. We did not do any of that. And so the season ended with the thinking of, last season ended with the thinking of some of those individuals from that set of islands are coming to this large, this is really one big island if you think about it, but they're coming here and they've got ideas, and those ideas are future technologies. So that's what I think is going to be what propels us through this season. Is, yeah, we're going to be building cities, and I think I want to try to be friendly to the environment, but we're going to start to introduce and work our way into cities of tomorrow, which I kind of miss because we went close to 60 episodes without any cities of tomorrow. So yeah, I'm excited. It's always funny to start a new season in a new region because basically we're broke. We have hardly any money, nobody, look at our smiley face. It's just okay. But I'm so thrilled. We have 7 city plots this time surrounding one great work. I already have in mind what great work I think it should be, that's going to benefit all of these 7 city plots. We went very heavy last season with tourism, and I think tourism is going to be a part of this, but I'd like to kind of go in some other directions. But man, I'm so excited. I'm so ready. I'm glad you're here. I've got my cup of coffee, but we have got to get started. We got to make some money. Um, each city plot has its own set of resources, and this city plot has, let's zoom in. This city plot has a large reservoir of oil. So I think this is going to be, I'm pretty sure this is the city plot that we're going to begin with. We've got to make some money before we do anything. That's always, whenever you do anything with a specialization, always have that good foundational city in place, and then you can start to branch out and do other things. But I'm so ready. I'm so excited. As I've said, I'm glad you're here, and let's get started with our first city of season 8 at Reflection Atoll. All right, here we are. Look at this. Wonderful. Wonderful. 7 a.m. The sun is rising. Let's pause. As always, no matter how many cities we create, as always, we've got to check the wind. This is so critical. So now we know dirty industry, sewage, if the power plant creates pollution, all goes in this direction towards that part of the city. All right, water, most of this map, good. And then oil. I don't think there's anything else. Okay, oil. Let's not do a roundabout at this time. Let's let's It's been so long since we've not had not had money. I want a straight line. I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna get rid of it. I just need from my guides. Let's maybe do from here. There. Let's do that. How's our money? We need to be careful. I'm so used to drawing roads, actually doing highways, and not even thinking about money in certain situations. All right, now. Okay, so we know that dirty, polluting. Let's come out here. Let's follow guides. Maybe right about here. Let's do that. I love this phase because it just looks so and at some point the city will look completely different. All right, let's start the simulation so that we can unlock our zones. Good. Good. City founding approved. Let's do some industry. Let's do residential. A bit of commercial. Where was that oil? Most of the oil is there. Okay, good. Let's do this. I'm going to come out here. I think. Okay, so now we need electricity, wind power. Let's put that. Let's put that there. Let's extend our road out like that. Let's do sewage. All right, how much money do we have? Good. So now we're telling a story. I think I want them to move in before we do water. We always do water with the water tower, but what we're that's not what we're going to use for this story that we're telling. Let's get some vehicles in. All right. First construction. Here come vehicles. They're all passing. Here come more. That's got to be a light construction truck. Nice. Very, very nice. Should be more construction trucks coming in. Light construction truck. Look at that. It's complaining. Buildings need water. I know. It'll be okay. Here comes a moving truck. Jordan residents. Let's pretend, remember we were talking about Larissa and Talia. There's Jordan. So let's pretend Larissa Jordan, and then let's Talia Peterson, amongst others. Look, some of the trucks are heading towards here. We need some of these people to go to work here. All right. Now, while that's taking place, we're going to let them do their thing. Over here, I know this is a park, but for what we're doing, it's not a park in the way we're approaching it. Do we want it over here? I feel like that's going to be heavily. Let's pause because they're going to need water really soon. Let's maybe come out here. Let's do this. Let's use our guides. Maybe in this corner here, because we're also going to need town hall. In this corner, I'm going to put this right there. So this is not a park in our story. If you remember the very last episode of last season, we pretended like this was the beginnings of research And it works. I'm going to pause again because they're going to want water. It works because this is a park, but it's got doors, and we can kind of pretend that this is a place for research. And here they're going to come up with future technologies, and this eventually is going to become obsolete, too small. And at some point, they're going to come up with the concept of a much bigger place for research. And they're going to call it the Academy. But for right now, this is kind of those humble beginnings. Let's do this. So now one of the first technologies, or the first technology, is the hydro pumping station. Let's put that right. Actually, let's put that right here, right across. I know, budget problems. It'll be all right. It'll be just fine. Once they move in and start paying rent, we'll be okay. Even if we have to take out a bond, because we did some things that are a little bit more expensive than the norm. Maybe a few more people moving in. Nice. Petition to build town hall approved. And maybe what we'll do is, as this city grows and develops, maybe we'll make this kind of a historic, where it all began. Let's put town hall. How do we do this? Maybe they should be on the same street. Maybe kind of like this. Yeah, let's do that. Let's take our taxes up. Let's do that. See that? We're spending a lot of money that normally we wouldn't be spending. But we're only losing 14 simoleons. So we're going to go green. I think we're going to name the city. What can we call? Millennium Bay? Maybe? I thought we were only losing. Maybe not. Maybe I looked at that wrong. But nevertheless, we should be fine. But this city has everything it needs to at least get started. 276 residents. Got a few jobs. Let's do that. Now, 41. Maybe let's do 12 there. They may complain, but now we're in the green. We're positive. If we had to, we could take out some bonds, but let's not do bonds for a while. And let's wait until the petition to build oil well approved. Let's wait until the advisor says, hey, maybe lower taxes. Low wealth, they're fine with 12%, but this plaza, I'm sorry, I called it, yeah, let's call it Research Plaza. It's got a pretty big influence. Oh, you know what's cool is the fact that we got an area of future. So some of these houses, yeah, look at the houses. Some of these houses look futuristic. This is cool. Very, very cool. But yeah, I think no matter what we do with this city, we're gonna maybe make this kind of a park. We're gonna leave this pristine, kind of as a reminder of our beginnings. Nice. Very cool. We've got so much to do. We've got so much to do. Because normally we'd be able to afford garbage. You know what I think we're going to do? We're going to pretend that the residents of the last set of islands last season sent a little bit of money. Let's do that because we need garbage collection. Let's do this because that wind power plant is not going to stay there. Good. Good. It may not be part of the big three to get a city going. The big three being power, water, and sewage. But garbage is very, very important. And if you're playing along, or if you're playing building a city, the importance, it kind of goes left to right. You know, there's your power, water, and sewage. And then as you go right, there's garbage. And then between fire, health, and police, by far, fire is the most important. But the simulation, especially the first city of a region, the simulation is going to be forgiving up until 1,000, roughly 1,000 residents. And at about 1,000 residents is where the simulation says, okay, you've had time, you should have fire protection. And that's when you start to see multiple fires break out. But nice. So our residents have some thoughts about some new technologies, and those technologies require oil. But we're going to use the oil at first just to make some money. That's what we're going to do at first, make some money. Nice. Very cool. Look, we got more families moving in. Murray residence, Torres residence, LeBron Day. Ah, cool. So LeBron Day, that is let's back up a bit. LeBron Day is the last name of one of the developers of this version of SimCity. Oh, cool. Let's get some more residents in. I think we've got. Oh yeah, we've got plenty of jobs. So let's get some more residents in because I need the tax income. There. City is so young. City is so new that a lot of our data maps for measuring happiness just don't make. Well, you know that city's quite green. I was just thinking that we really don't, but look at that. Nice. That's a nice sign. That's a good start. Look at that. Nobody is ready to upgrade because they've all just moved in. We've got to earn. We've got to earn their desire to upgrade their home. No rubble, no abandoned buildings. I would hope not at this point. Maybe we do a little bit of shopping right along here. Oh, listen. Listen to the music. Just like the end of last season, we could almost pretend that transition in music represents maybe a breakthrough, a technological breakthrough in our tiny academy. Oh, cool. Well, it is 3 p.m. on the first day, and our music has changed, and this might be the music that we're going to hear for quite a while. But nice, excellent, excellent. We need to make some money. We're going to need fire protection. We're getting close. We could take out another bond. That's what I'm leaning towards. Although a few more residents moved in should take care of. All right. I may have made this a little too close. Well, maybe not. So we've got 3 dead end roads. And everybody is going to keep taking these, and right now it's not that big of a deal. But you're going to be looking at some congestion as the city grows, as more and more people want to come into the city or go there to go to work. Those are going to back up. So what I'm thinking about doing, this may be temporary. Let's spend money on things that make. Let's Let's turn this off. Now let's try it. There, that's straighter. There. I'm going to go ahead and take out a bond. Let's do it. And let's do fire protection. Let's put fire maybe right along here. Or we could put fire over here somewhere. Oh, we never did connect these roads. There. There. Let's not do, if we can keep from having dead ends. There. Let's do fire right there. Well, we're off to a good start. Look at this. When was the last time we've had to deal with dirt roads? We have no money. We have no simoleons. We have no jobs either. Let's take care of that. Let's there. Better. Better. City is making a really good profit from tax income. Nothing outrageous, but a good profit. We've got to go in two different directions. We've got to, of course, continue with filling out the services, but we also need to go in the direction of look at that. See, currently we couldn't afford that. What we could do is we could at least start the process of planning because it's unlocked. Let's that's an awfully large area. Maybe this is more than we really need. Maybe right in here where there isn't any oil. Is that kind of where trade depots and things of that nature are located? I don't like that. And I think that's going to be too close to the road. We may stay with it. That's too much space. Well, you know what? Maybe not. Hmm. We've got time to figure that out. Well, I'm going to leave it as a placeholder because there's no oil there. Let's just go ahead and draw a road. I don't think anybody will take it. But there. But at least we can kind of start planning and thinking, but we can't, we're nowhere near able to afford it. And we need to pay for other things. Namely, we need to be able to pay for health care. But it's a start. We're off to a start. I was kind of hoping there'd be somebody walking. Oh, look. Keegan. Kia. We can always pretend like they are, because they're in proximity, that these are some researchers. I don't see anybody else. Are these all people going to work? Going to his low-paying job. Well, look at that. The sun is going down. This is a cool region. The color palette is just slightly different than the region that we just came from. The sun should be going completely down in about 30 minutes. There. I believe it's right at 10 p.m. Petition to build Omega Co factory approved. Nice. Nice. Well, it's approved, but we don't have any of the resources needed for it. All right. We just wrapped up our first day of season 8, a new region, our first city of the new region. Hopefully by morning, we'll have a little bit more money in the bank account, and then we can get working on some other things. The next couple of days, we've got to get health and police. We'll get school eventually, but health really is what we need. And then we got to get started. We got to get started on oil. We got to make some money for this city to do the things that we need to do. We need money to support that. That's what we need.